So I'm going to start by making a fairly bold statement. Think of Nevermind as the PayPal for AI agents. And I'd ask everyone to keep this analogy in mind throughout the pitch. And another thing, that often the simplest ideas are also the biggest opportunities. I'd like to also clarify, I think of AI agents as a superset for AI. Agents are actually just models plus some combination of tools and services. In fact, I have a prediction that within a year from now, AI and agents will be seen as synonymous, terms that are used interchangeably. The only reason I'm making this point on this slide is just to say that the opportunity for agents is actually as big as the entire AI industry itself. So let's think from a theoretical point of view. AI needs a new payment framework. Let's start by considering the anatomy of an agent. An agent is a combination of models, tools, and services. And they often employ dynamic combinations of these in order to service an input request. This means that each input request has variable operating costs, and any sustainable pricing model should surely account for this through some kind of pay-as-you-go pricing scheme. But what's the current paradigm? The reality is it's a straight read across from SaaS-based markets. Fixed monthly subscriptions with some kind of high usage threshold. This either price gouges your hobbyists or loses your shirt with your power users. Ultimately, we think agents are going to become uncompetitive unless they consider transitioning to an alternative usage-based pricing model. So we've established also on the previous slide that cost is important in considering a pricing framework, and that the market is and will continue to shift from fixed to variable pricing. There's also evidence that builders want to partner with someone that can help them with this transition. I say this from our early evidence. We think of Nevermind as a costing engine. We're building a costing engine to power usage-based pricing. In fact, we feel that the new standard or baseline for pricing will be usage-based billing to cover, at a minimum, costs and protect margin. The story around usage-based billing is only the beginning. Pricing doesn't stop there. Everyone here has probably had a discussion at some point around outcome-based pricing, what we like to think of as value-based pricing. This prices the agent based on the actual value it delivers. Now, in the next iteration of the pricing framework, we see a combination of a base request fee, this is the cost-covering part of the exercise, and some sort of outcome-based success fee. What's critically important to note here is that it is still the vendor that is actually setting the price in consultation with their users. It's not Nevermind. But in the medium term, as I already said, Nevermind sees itself as a costing engine. This means it's able to calibrate fixed usage-based pricing to cover costs. And in the not too distant future, the idea around value-based pricing is to actually be able to verify value delivered and charge the customers accordingly. I'd just like to make a little note around the way we see pricing agents as actually not a function of the human capital costs that they're displacing. This is a sort of rookie mistake that we think many people in the market are making at the minute. Basing agent prices on equivalent human labor costs will not hold up for long. We're entering a machine economy. Services will become, at least to some degree, commoditized and prices will drop. Now, I'm not saying it's a race to the bottom, but it's definitely a race to somewhere close to the bottom. Certainly, we're talking about slim margins. So let's just recap on Nevermind. Nevermind has 3 pricing modalities: usage, outcome, and value-based. Nevermind's product toolbox also consists of 2 modules. Nevermind ID is a compliant-friendly digital ID stack. Nevermind Pay breaks down as 3 product pillars: Price and margin setting and licensing. Licensing is token gating, this kind of thing. Usage metering and payments, and lastly, analytics and reporting. The latter very important for like recycling that data into optimizing your pricing strategy moving forward. Our go-to-market strategy is super simple. We work with well-funded startups, building great agents who are, at the minute, likely monetizing through fixed monthly subscriptions. What's our value prop? We want to become their trusted payment partner, transitioning them to real-time metering and billing and settlement. We're also not afraid of enterprise. We have a game plan there too. We think incumbents will be forced to adopt some form of usage-based pricing to maintain competitiveness, to make sure they're profitable, and in the face of customers increasingly demanding some kind of value-based alternative. We have a little bit of special sauce here in the mix as well, and to be honest, the partners really love this. If you're a Nevermind partner, we're basically exposing you to a growing network of AI agents, a multi-agent system. I mean, this is what we're all talking about, and there's not much evidence of this yet. Yeah, we know about Agent A to A, and we know about Anthropic's MCP service, but as I understand it currently, there's not much activity in multi-agent systems. Maybe a lack of payments infrastructure is one of those reasons. So any agent in our network can cross-sell services that they alone can't provide. This effectively expands every partner's capabilities. And very importantly, it allows them to maintain full ownership of their existing client relationships. Very, very important, especially for enterprise. Now, no business model comes without risks, and our risk surely is from the large incumbents. Think of Salesforce, their Agentforce platform, and their recent announcement around flex credits. They have created a closed pay-to-play ecosystem. So even the big enterprise are realizing that usage-based pricing is critically important.
Thank you very much, Robin. Time's up, 7.5 minutes. It goes by faster than you think. Judges, over to you.
Great, love what you're trying to do.
Yeah, sure.
Why would I not implement the payment myself? Like basically, I like the idea of a PayPal for agents, but if I build my agents, why wouldn't I do that myself? And secondly, what would be some of the KPIs on the outcome fees? Like how would you measure that?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the outcome-based side, that's entirely up to the builders of the agents themselves. We just provide payment infrastructure. We do have a vision that in the medium term, it'll actually be possible to fully verify value, especially if it's on-chain. So there can be some sort of predetermined like profit split, or if there's like a specific time saved, there may be a pre-existing agreement on how that time transferred into value. In terms of building stuff yourself, look, this stuff seems simple from the outset, but actually like there's minimum threshold to like payment amounts. So we're talking about like transactions, or if we're at a request level, it might be fractions of a cent. And then you need some kind of upfront credits-based payment, which you draw down against through redemptions, or you need to bill in arrears. But ultimately, you need to be metering this stuff in real time and batching and aggregating that. Once you actually start to think about it, it's not so straightforward to build yourself. You've got the access control authentication. We've got evidence from very well-funded like West Coast startups that they actually like using a third party for trust reasons. And the most important point is this point about cost observability. I spoke a lot about actually like giving a lot of visibility on costs. And this is something that like practically no agent builders in the space are actually really that focused on. I just also want to say that I was very much almost finished on my presentation, so please don't feel that you've missed out on anything. You got everything important in that run of slides.